Good morning, guys, from Carrick-on-Shannon here in Leitrim. So today I will be taking you to something that's very, very interesting, and that is the Costello Memorial Chapel that houses the remains of Edward and Mary Josephine, his wife. So Edward Costello was not a lord or a nobleman. He was a merchant, practical, disciplined, a man who built his life through trade and patience here in Carrick-on-Shannon. But in Mary Josephine he found something that could not be measured or bought by all accounts. Their marriage was close and deeply affectionate, unusual in age when many unions were practical arrangements rather than love stories. So when his wife Josephine died in 1877, Edward did not bury his grief. He preserved it in the town here of Carrick-on-Shannon. Rather than consigning her to a distant graveyard plot, he chose to build something permanent, something deliberate. Not a grand church filled with strangers, but a chapel so small it could only hold silence, memory, and devotion. Every inch of it was intentional. The stone, the stained glass, the altar. Nothing here was excess. It was a space made for mourning without interruption. So, as we walk around the town here and we talk about the Costello Memorial Chapel, we see this lovely statue here in the town. What looks like a man here with a bowl and a child putting his hand in the bowl as well. Very interesting. So when the Costello Chapel was finished, Mary Josephine was placed beneath its floor, sealed in a lead coffin covered by glass. She was also embalmed. She was not hidden away in darkness. Edward wanted her near the light, near the altar, near prayer. It was grief shaped into architecture. For years afterward, Edward came here to the town alone. Mass was said quietly, candles were lit, the town moved on around him, but the chapel remained unchanged. Edward himself died in 1891, and he was laid to rest opposite his wife beneath the same glass, equal in death as they had been in life. No words were needed. The chapel had already said everything. So today the chapel stands in the town of Carrick-on-Shannon here, as we can see the old bridge just across the way, down by the water here, and there's some lovely boats and stuff around. So it's one of the smallest chapels, they say, in Europe, and it is really beautiful. So we're going to go up there now, guys, and we're going to have a look at it and see the final resting place of Mary Josephine and her husband Edward. So I have come here at night as well and took a little bit of video footage of the Memorial Chapel at night time to show you what it looks like, so I'll put that over the video as well. But Today this small chapel still stands. Small and fragile, yet it has outlived generations. The town has grown louder, faster, more modern, but inside those stone walls, time has stopped. Beneath the glass lie 2 coffins and a story of love that refused to disappear quietly. So this is not a tale of grandeur or sainthood. It is something far more human. A man who loved deeply a woman. Who was mourned faithfully, and a chapel that remains, not as a monument to death, but as proof that grief, when bound to devotion, can become eternal. So let's go down, guys, and have a look inside this old chapel. And as I was saying, Mary Josephine was embalmed and placed beneath the glass in the chapel here, so we'll have a look at that. And I think it's very interesting that people can still come here and see it, and it gets an awful lot of visitors from all over the world, I believe, this chapel and the final resting place here. And it's just in front of us here. And as I was saying, I did come here last night and took a little bit of a video of the outside when the Christmas tree was lighting, and it looked beautiful. Even more beautiful, I suppose, at night time. So as you can see, this is the town here in Carrick-on-Shannon, and as people pass by every day, we have a pub just next door to Flynn's, and the chapel is just there itself. So here we are outside, and you can see on the wall here 1877, the Costello Memorial Chapel, and the little gates that go inside, and this is it. 1877. What a beautiful place it is. Very, very interesting. And that is the doorway overhead. So we'll go inside, guys, and we'll have a look inside the chapel. It really is beautiful. So just on the left side here we have Mary Josephine, his wife, and she's buried, her coffin beneath glass here. So just on the plaque of it there we can see Mary Josephine Costello, who was born the 26th of November 1829 and died the 6th of October 1877. And that is her lead coffin. We also have a illustration, I suppose, of Mary Josephine here on the wall, what she would have looked like. Beautiful picture in her attire. And just on the other side then we have her husband, Edward. That is his coffin, a lead coffin underneath the glass there. And we can see they have we have these here to keep away, I suppose, the condensation from the glass, so people can have a better look. There is his coffin under the glass. You can just see here it says, "Please do not step on glass." And we have the altar inside the little chapel here. And there is beautiful angels on the altar there. So what a beautiful little chapel. A story of love and devotion, I suppose. You know, that this was built here for his wife and himself. And people can still come here today and see, just down there we can see the handle of the coffin. And the wood on the coffin, we can see pieces of it there. There is flowers on top of it there, like a little bouquet or something of flowers on it. And the lead that surrounds it. We have Jesus on the cross. So how crazy is that, guys, that you can actually come in here to this memorial chapel and visit the coffins here and the final resting place of Edward and his wife. And we see the doors there, really iron doors, really large iron doors on it there, and the handles on them. And we have people writing on the doors, which is silly, graffiti. But that is the doors going in to the chapel. So just outside the memorial chapel then we have this Christmas tree, as I was saying. I took a little bit of video footage last night there when it was lighting. So it's nice to see it at night time as well. So as we leave the Costello Memorial Chapel here in Carrick-on-Shannon, I just noticed here on the wall there's a plaque, and it says, "On this spot stood the old courthouse where 17 United Irishmen were hanged after the Battle of Ballinamuck. The United Irishmen and the French army under General Humbert were defeated by Generals Cornwallis and Lake. The French were treated as prisoners of war, but the Irish were given no quarter. Captain K held a lottery, and those who picked a rolled up paper with the word death were taken out and hanged at the door. Those who picked a blank paper were allowed to cross the river to freedom. This area is still known as the Liberty." Very interesting. So that's it from the Costello Memorial Chapel here, guys, the final resting place of Edward and his wife Mary Josephine. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you did, hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and you can also hype this video as well. So until the next time, take care. God bless.